Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Score. Kory Kuffler, Jenna, Jonah Krell joining you once again. It's been a couple weeks since we've done this. We've been a little busy covering high school sports across the state of Iowa, Illinois, just kind of running everywhere. We've had state track, we've had soccer, we've had baseball, softball, tennis, you name it, we've had it all. And we're going to kind of cover a little bit of that and then talk a little professional sports today as well in this podcast. So we'll start with
the JDC.
The JDC.
John Deere Classic Media Day, or Champions Day, as they call it, was this week.
Only a few weeks away, the John Deere Classic is the 54th John Deere Classic. This will be my 25th John Deere Classic.
Wow.
It'll be Jenna's first.
No.
Second. I'm sorry.
Jonah's first.
Jonah's first. You're second.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I'm a little offended.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
That was wow.
So, we will start with that. Had a chance to sit down and talk with Davis Thompson, the 2024 winner. He became the 24th first-time winner of the John Deere Classic. Kind of cool. The third Georgia Bulldog to ever win the John Deere Classic. Do you guys know the other two? Come on, this is testing your trivia here. John Deere Classic trivia. Sepp Straka, the year before.
Oh, I didn't know he was.
And Brian Harmon.
Oh, okay.
Both Georgia Bulldogs. They both won here, so pretty cool. He's a good dude. I mean, people get on him about, they say he doesn't have a lot of personality, whatever. He was a lot of fun to talk to. He really was. He talked a little bit about what it meant to him to win, how it changed his life professionally, what it did for him as far as getting into the signature events, the amount of money that he's been able to win this year. And then we talked a little bit about what does it take to defend. He's never had a chance to defend. He'd only won one other time on the Corn Ferry Tour. Didn't get a chance to defend that one because he moved on to the PGA Tour the next year. So he's never had a chance to defend. This will be his first time ever coming back to defend. He's excited about that, a little nervous about it. Hopefully he says he can go back-to-back. He would be, I'm trying to think, we did that JDC 19th Hole Classic Countdown show, and gosh, I'm trying to remember how many there was now. Well, he's three, Stricker's three.
Yeah.
I think there's four other two-time winners.
Yeah, because I had to say that.
And
I was
three
like,
two-time winners. Yes,
yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it is. So, hopefully, maybe he can get it done again.
Yeah.
So, kind of cool to see him, and you were there for that day. It was your first Champions or Media Day.
Yeah, first Champions Day, not first John Deere Classic. Thank you very
Sorry.
much. No, it's okay. It's okay. But no, it was really cool us just like getting to talk to Davis Thompson and seeing what he had to say. The thing that stuck out to me, and I know you talked about, a lot of people say that like maybe he's not the most exciting just because he's very introverted, and he talked about being introverted, and like I think this whole experience is him getting out of his comfort zone a little bit, and I know too, like we've talked about it before, that he's had he struggled at times this season, and he talked a lot about getting out of his head and trying to focus on performing well. So I think it'll be good for him to come back to the John Deere Classic where he has all those good memories from last year. Because golf, as we've talked about too, is just like very obviously a mental game.
It's a vibes game.
Yeah,
right?
a vibes game.
You gotta have good vibes.
You are so in your head in this game. I mean, you miss a
Exactly.
putt, a drive doesn't work, your irons aren't working, something's not working, and you're trying to tinker. You're trying to fix things. You're trying to work on stuff, and sometimes that work. Michael Kim did it after he won here. He's like, I'm going to fix my swing. Fell off the face of the earth for about 2 years, and all of a sudden he's now playing some really good golf again. And Davis Thompson, he didn't do that. But again, you start thinking, I'm not making cuts. I got to make money. I mean, there's a lot of pressure for these guys.
It's just hard too. Like I think for Davis, coming off of his first win on tour this past year, you have this standard you're trying to hit in these expectations, and if you fall a little flat, it's really easy to get in your head. So I'm excited to see him when he's back here, again, to connect with all those good memories, and hopefully you can see that in his golf game too. I think would be really cool. So yeah, it's fun hearing his take on being an introvert with everything and just his mental game and working through that. Again, being a one-time winner on tour and navigating this year as after his first win. So that was really interesting.
So we will have that full interview on our John Deere Classic 19th hole preview show, which will run the Sunday before the John Deere Classic starts. So that'll be June 29th will be that day. But if you want to get your JDC fix now, check out our 8+ app. We have the 19th hole countdown to the Classic show. Myself, Jenna, and Jonah spent a lot of time doing that one. We went out to the golf course and did a lot of stand-ups and interviews and all kinds of fun things. I talked to Claire Peterson about sponsors exemptions and what they mean to the tournament, how important they are. Some names just to throw out people are going to remember. Jason Day was a sponsor exemption. Colin Morikawa was a sponsor exemption. Jordan Spieth was a sponsor exemption. I know a lot of people have various thoughts on the next person I want to mention, but Bryson DeChambeau was also a sponsor exemption. Ludwig Oberg. I mean, there's a lot of guys that you don't know when they are here how big they're going to make it, but then you're like, oh yeah, they played here. That was pretty. That was pretty cool to see them in person. So that was a fun interview with him. And then I talked to D.A. Weibring, who is a 3-time winner here at the John Deere Classic, or the tournament, which was a Hardee's, the Michelob, but the Quad City Open. He won so many times here. But then he was also the course designer of TPC Deere Run. And to get his perspective on what it took to build that course, how they built that course, the funny story of when they were going to make the announcement that they were going to build the course was actually on April 1st. And,
really?
and he said to Tim, I think it was Tim Fincham at the time, or whoever the PGA Tour commissioner was, he goes, I don't want to do that day. He's like, oh, it's a big announcement, though. He's like, exactly. I don't want to do it that day. So either move it a day up or a day later. So they moved it to the April 2nd.
That's good.
Which is kind of funny.
Was not.
But he has a really, really fun story about that. So if you want to get your JDC fix, go to our 8+ app and check out our 19th hole countdown to the Classic.
But the other good thing about the JDC Media Day that you didn't talk about is that you and I got to golf TPC Deere Run, which was a lot of fun.
It was your first chance to see it up close and personal.
It was, yeah. It was awesome.
Like the pros.
Yeah, it was cool.
And what did you think?
Not like the pros.
Well, we got to see it like the pros.
Like the pros,
we didn't play it
like the pros.
No.
Even though I did almost par hole 6, and that's going to be... I'm not a great golfer,
you
so
can take that one with you forever.
I know. I was proud of that one. That was good. That was a good hole for me. So that was very.
It was a fun day. Yes.
Let me ask you guys this. I mean, for Davis Thompson to shoot 28 under, a record as a rookie, that's incredible. I want to ask you, because you've seen this tournament for years now. Is it an easy course? Like, what do golfers say about the course?
For the golfers themselves, TPC Deere Run, yes, fairly easy. Yes. Summertime, it's easy. They had a tournament in the fall of 2003. It was played in September that year, and Vijay Singh was the winner. The scores were a little bit lower. The course plays a little bit longer because it's a little bit wetter. Rough is a little bit higher, things of that nature. But, yeah, usually the winning score around here is between 19 to 24 or so under par. So for him to get to 28, pretty incredible. He had rounds of, I think he had an 8 under to start, a 9 under in the third round, a 7 under in the final round, and a 4 under in the second round to get him to that 28. So for them, easy.
Okay.
For average golfer,
tough.
Not so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but when you play the course, you do kind of figure like, wow, they actually hit it pretty good. They're really good at what they do. So it's kind of fun to see it, how we play it, and then how they make it look so easy. So pretty cool. So, all right, let's move on. Our next topic here from JDC will be.
I'm very excited. We're going to talk about Nicholas Patrick.
Who? Who? Nicholas who?
If you don't know the name, you're crazy at this point. No, he won his 4th straight tennis state title, which it was obviously crazy. He was the 3rd in the state of Illinois to win 4 straight. And the 2nd in the state of Illinois to win 4 straight while being undefeated. He didn't lose the game. So that's just crazy to me. And obviously, you know, we talked about how we were really busy, and state tennis was one of those things we were busy on. And I got to go, which was really cool to watch him play and everything. So, and we had him on the Score Sunday. So, yeah, it was very fun to watch him win that 4th state title. And I'll bring it up later, but the funny story with Coach Bill Ali and something very lucky.
So the cool thing about Nicholas is he came into high school, and people had already started talking about him. When he was 12 years old, he's like, hey, this kid's going to be good on the tennis courts. And we're like, okay, we'll see how this all pans out. Well, his freshman year, dominates, goes up, wins the state title. Like, all right, good for him. So the second year, we went. We didn't go the first year he won. So the second year, I go up there to Palatine, where you were at, and watched him play Benedict Graft and beat him 2-1. It was the first time Nicholas had ever lost a set.
And it's the only set he lost.
His entire high school career.
Crazy. That's crazy.
So he won the first set, lost the second set, won the third set to win the state title. The interesting thing when he goes up there, and you got to witness this, Jenna, everybody in the Chicagoland area is rooting against him.
Yeah.
So the only people that are in his corner besides Bill Ali is his teammates and anybody from Allman that goes up there to watch him play. And the kids from the Chicagoland area, when he makes a mistake, they're all over him and everything. When he won his second year, showed a little bit of emotion, kind of didn't say anything to him, but kind of looked at them like, hey, that's 2 for me now. And then his junior year, go back up there. He plays Benedict Graft again, the same scenario, but he sweeps him this time, 2-0. And again, looks at them all like, all right, I'm at 3 now. What are you going to do? And then this year, it was pretty much the same thing, wasn't it?
And that's something I got to talk to Nicholas about a lot, is just his mental game is so strong. And obviously with tennis, you have to be clear up here, because you make one bad shot, you overthink it, you're going to tank, you know? So it was really cool talking to him about that, because the first set was really close. It was tied 3-3, and it was really back and forth. That third game was probably like a 15-minute game in that set. So the stakes were high again. They were really loud, and just the composure that Nicholas has as a tennis player to be able to just block it out. If he had, a bad shot, didn't get that point or whatever, being able to just move past that and keep on going despite having that crowd there. It was really cool to see. And again, him being tied 3-3 and then winning 9 games straight to take the second set 6-0. He's playing the other best kid in the state.
Right.
Who they matched up multiple times. And just the fact that he was able to sweep that second set, like 6-0, that was crazy to me. It was so fun to watch.
Before you get to the important story here.
Yes. I'll hold off on
the reset button for tennis and golf, I mean, you have to. It's it's immediate. Right. If it's not immediate, you're going to carry it over, and things are going to go poorly for you.
Yeah.
But you mentioned, so Nicholas is the 2nd-ranked player in the state of Illinois. Benedict Graft is a 4th-ranked player in the state of Illinois. Nicholas is going on to play at Notre Dame. Benedict, we asked him. He knows. He calls him Ben. Nicholas does, so he knows him. He's probably good friends with them because they play in the junior leagues all the time, whatever. He's like, yeah, Ben's going out to like Cal Poly. He's going to be some like engineer and probably design the next rocket or something. And he's not playing tennis, which is kind of shocking to hear that.
Shocking.
But yeah, so Nicholas is off to Notre Dame to play. And but in order for him to win 9 straight games, what happened up at state besides Nicholas doing all the work?
It was Bill Ali with his magical powers. He brought out his lucky gum. He said it was getting close. 3-3. He's getting not really nervous, but he said that Nick might need some extra luck. He pulled out his lucky gum, started chewing it, and then Nick won 9 straight games. So, and in case anybody is wondering, the lucky gum is just like the extra, like
mint, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're looking for any luck, if you're superstitious and you're playing a sport, just pop a piece of extra mint gum.
I know.
And if they want to be a sponsor of the show, hey, we'll take them on as well.
It was so funny because Nicholas didn't even really know that was a thing Bill did, except they had dinner the night before, and Bill was like, "Hey, I broke this out once before. If it gets close, I'm gonna break it out again." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I mean, maybe it paid off. Maybe the lucky gum did something because he won 9 straight after that. No.
So the other cool thing about it is, Nicholas won 4 straight. But the team took 3rd place. It was their highest finish in state. And he was probably more excited about that because that meant his teammates, the doubles team that went up there, won a few games, scored some points, and got them to that point. And he was really proud of that, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you could see how close just he is with his team. They had the coming home ceremony for him at Allman, which was nice to see his friends, family, the community welcoming them home. And just being the whole team there. Because there was the duo team. It was Leo and Chase. Leo was their foreign exchange student from Germany, correct?
Right, yep.
So him and Chase were able to, they dropped their first game at state, but then they kept battling and kept playing through and got those crucial team points that led them to their highest finish ever. So it's really cool that, again, as a team, they were able to do stuff, too, like that.
Let's move on from Nicholas.
Hey, we have more state.
We
did a lot of state
We have
stuff.
all kinds of state stuff. So next, we'll go to state track.
Which we had Illinois girls and boys on the Illinois side, and then the Iowa side, which Jonah was at some of that. So I'm going to throw it over to him. Would you want to start with Illinois boys or Iowa?
We'll start with Iowa. That feels like forever ago. I can't even.
It's been 3 weeks, believe it or not, yeah.
That's probably around the last time we did the podcast, right?
Probably just before, yeah.
Yeah, so Iowa track. Let's start with Pleasant Valley. They really were the stars again. PV 4x800 crew of Ani Wiedemeyer, Grace Bolin, Ariel Johnson, and Kaylee Mowen. They defended their title in the 4x8 with a time of 9 flat. That's the 2nd fastest time ever behind themselves from a year ago. So
Right.
it's amazing that they told me it's just handling the pressure is huge, and they were able to do that. They knew the pressure was on them. So the fact that they were able to handle that, the expectations, and to do it again, it says something about that group. And you talk to them, they really love each other. They're best friends, and all seniors finishing off their career on a high note like that. Very
Yeah,
impressive.
for Grace and Ani, like when Ani transferred in, her and Grace kind of really hit it off. Like if you drive around Bettendorf or around PV during track season, cross country season, those two are always out on runs together, just pushing each other, challenging each other, and you see that as teammates from them. Like you said, the other two girls that run with them, they're like, well, I don't want to let them down, you know. So it's kind of cool. The year before when they won, it was the same thing. They were the first team to go sub-9,
Right.
and then this year they almost did it again. So pretty cool for them. And then one other PV note: Carly Donahue, a track runner from 2015 or 16. I always get the years mixed up between her and Joy Ripslinger, who was also inducted into the Hall of Fame. But she goes into the Hall of Fame. She was a really good hurdler for Pleasant Valley. She was part of that stretch where they were also winning state titles and like second place, third place titles all the time. She won, I want to say, 8 or 9 different state championships in her career is what it was. So really, really good hurdler. I believe she's up in Minnesota doing some doctor work or something like that is where she's at now. So, and I think engaged as well, if I'm not mistaken on that one. So yeah, pretty cool for her to get engaged. But that was just the beginning of track for
Just
you up
the
there.
beginning.
Yeah.
A couple other first place finishers. Kylie Hill from Burlington in shot put. She threw nearly 46 feet. She really wanted it. She's kind of one of those athletes that's a perfectionist. She really wants to compete at the highest level every time. She nearly got 46 feet. She's now a 2-time champ in shot put. She was 2 feet better than second place in that event. So you can just see she's only a sophomore and she's already dominating the field. So imagine the trajectory that she's on right now out of Burlington. And then in 3A, 100 meter dash, 200 meters, Kelly Grobstich from Assumption, again, dominated the field, setting state meet records in both of those races. The crazy thing about her is she's overcome 2 knee injuries and from dance, and she was able to overcome that and get to this point. She wasn't really on anyone's radar going in from last season onto this year, and to be able to put in the amount of work she did and to win 100 and 200. 200 is not even her signature race,
Right.
And she was able to do that. She's just an incredible athlete, incredible story.
Yeah, her coach, Tim O'Neill, which this was his last year, so shout out to him. They've had a ton of success in track under Tim O'Neill. Posted some stuff about her and her ACL, I believe it was an ACL injury that she had. And she mentioned to you in the interview that she was sitting in the stands last year as a junior watching. And she's
as a sophomore,
yes, I'm sorry, as a sophomore watching. And she wanted nothing more than to come back and win that state championship. Does it in the 100, 200. I believe she set a state record in the 100. Is that correct?
In the prelims, yeah.
So she has a state
11-8-1.
record there. So great for her. A great way to end her high school career, and wish her nothing but the best as she moves on. So, Any other big ones from up there?
Tyson Caesar from Comanche in high jump. He won with a jump of 6'8", and that's not his record. His record is 7 feet. He set that at 7'1".
7'1", yeah.
Yeah, so he did. I saw him go 7 feet at the Drake Relays, but regardless, he won with 6'8". It wasn't his best by his, admittance, but his opponent didn't clear the bar as many times as he did. So he wins by kind of default, and it was one that he just really wanted to get off his back. He had never won the state title. He'd won Drake twice in high jump. So for him to be able to finally achieve that, he told me he's been dreaming of this. So it's really cool for Tyson to win it.
Yeah, and he's off to Iowa State to high jump there. He also got second place in the long jump, which is something he didn't expect as well. So great for him there. And then one more person to mention from up in the Iowa State meet for the boys, Nolan Dempsey from Davenport West. He throws, I think, 177 feet. He wins that state meet in Class 4A. Ended up being an off the cuff and a score standout winner. So congratulations to him. He's going to UNI to throw discus next year. So
6'10", right?
6'10". Yeah, he made me look like a little.
Oh my gosh,
Make me look
you look
small.
very
I was
short.
very short standing next to him.
That's
He was a full foot taller than me. It was kind of
Yeah.
crazy
That's
to look up to
how
somebody.
every day of
and-
my life is. Cuff.
Welcome to
Every
that, right?
day,
Welcome
yeah.
to it. So,
Yes.
so very successful up there. And then one
Right.
other person that got inducted in the Hall of Fame, Joy Ripslinger. I think it's McGettigan now is her last name. When I watched her run, she was unbelievable. I think she won 12 individual or combined state titles up at state. Won a few white flags up at the Drake Relays as well. Her senior year, she won the 400, 800, 1500, 3000.
My goodness.
Be able
And
to
just
do that across so many
It's
different races.
Yeah.
unreal. She was the first one at that time to win those 4 races in the same state meet, so which was kind of cool. She then went down to Arkansas to run. Had some injury bug hit her or whatever. Didn't have the career she wanted down there, but still had a great time with her teammates. And she was inducted into the Hall of Fame up at the Iowa State meet as well. So that was really cool. So let's stay with the girls. You got to cover
Illinois,
the girls down in
at
Illinois.
the beautiful Eastern Illinois.
And why do you call it
University.
beautiful?
I'm an alum.
Oh, you're an alum. I forgot.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I forgot you're an alum.
Absolutely, we love EIU and the big blue track. So
And O'Brien Field.
at O'Brien Field,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah, Illinois State Track was really fun, and I got 2 words. It's a name, Emma Randecker. That is the story of the Illinois Girls State Track. From West Carroll, she won the 100, the 200, and the 400, setting records in the 100 and the 200. So, it was really cool to to watch that, see her do that, and talking to her was really fun because, like in my interview with her, I was like, you can't really do anything better. I'm like,
Right.
you won state, and then I'm sorry. Jonah's trying to drink
messing
water.
around. I'm
Jonah's
sorry.
drinking
He's trying to
water
drink some
and-
Trying to
water.
hydrate.
He's struggling. But no, there's not much better you can do. You won a state title, and then you set the state record. It's like, what? That's the ceiling. Like, I don't think you can do anything better than that. And so it was really cool to watch her just dominate those 3 races and, down those state records. And it was really cool because when we got to the 400 and she did it and she won, they announced her time and she just gave a little, fist pump. She's like, yeah, because that was her goal of the season. She wanted to win those and break state records, and that's exactly what she did. So she had a great performance. It's really cool. And the other thing that really stood out to me, too, was over in the wheelchair discus and shot put talking to Zoe Eisenberg from Galena. It's always fun to catch up with her because I talked to her last year at state track as well. And, because she just loves doing it, and she loves being a role model for other girls, that if they're in a wheelchair, they can do that stuff too. And that was the message she wanted to get across for sure, talking to her, because she said when she was in middle school, she never imagined she could do something like this. And to be able to be a role model for other people just to see that, hey, I could do that too if I wanted. That means a lot to her. So it's really cool to see her be a state champion again too.
That is really cool to see that Illinois and Iowa does it as well. As you mentioned, that made me think Peyton Moss from West Liberty.
Yes.
She is a junior at West Liberty. She's competed every year at the state meet as well. This year she won the 100. It's the first time she's actually won an event. And I believe she set a PR as well in that event. So she's just a really cool kid. She doesn't have to go against the girl from Dubuque. Is it Dubuque Senior or whatever her name is? I don't even know what the girl's name is from up there, but she's like, it's the last time I have to compete against her. So maybe next year she'll get her state title. Who knows? As far as the team points go like that. But it's really cool that they've added those categories and give them a chance to compete. They also do an ambulatory races up in Iowa, which is really cool. So there was a girl from Iowa, I think it was Iowa City West. She ran with are they blades? I think she has blades on when she runs, and there's some other things. We had a girl from Davenport Central last year that competed as well when she had a person running with her, basically an aide, keeping her in her lane and things like that. So it was really cool to see that they offer that because they should absolutely have the same opportunities everybody else does to be able to compete. So it's really cool that they do that. But we're not done with track. Jonah got to cover the next week after the boys and girls in Iowa and the girls in Illinois. You got to go back down to Eastern Illinois.
The beautiful Eastern Illinois University.
And O'Brien Field for the boys. What stood out down there?
So what stood out was United Township, and Michael Pomasi.
Yep.
In shot put, again, I'm talking about shot put again. 67 feet, 11
That's
inches.
crazy.
He nearly broke the state record. He was just off by
I think 4 inches is what it was, yeah.
Yeah, and so for him, he finished 6th place a year ago. For him to make that jump to first by that wide of a margin, no one even came close to touching him. It says something about the amount of work that he's put in this year. And ICANN Logo as well, in triple jump, came in 2nd. Last year, he finished in 22nd place.
Sure.
Yeah,
so again, these two,
injury too,
yes,
to be able to come back.
yeah.
Yes.
So these two Panthers, to be able to do it together, overall, UT had a very good track weekend. So they were the standouts. And then also in the track side of things, Morrison they won the team title. And you just look down the list and you see so many contributors. Brady Anderson won the 100 meter by 0.4 of a second. Coming in 3rd, I think, in that same event was Levi Milder, who won the 200 meter. Brady comes in 2nd in that event. And then in the 4x200, so as a team coming together, they have a state best time and they win the 4x200. So overall, they were really impressive. And just a small 1A school showing out. And Levi Milder and Brady Anderson, they're both coming back next year. They're going to be seniors. So can you imagine the amount of accomplishments they still have left to do?
Oh, absolutely. You had something to add about Michael.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah, you saw me.
I saw you over
yeah.
here, yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
No, I just wanted to ask you, Jonah, because watching Michael, because that was your first time watching him in person, right? Not
Right.
video. The first time
Yeah.
I saw him in person throw, it was like mind blowing. Because I mean, shot put, like, especially on the guy side, obviously they can really throw it far, but it's like it kind of like goes up and there. But Michael like launches that thing.
Yep.
And like I was at the Western Big Six track meet. That's
Right.
the first time I saw him actually throw in person, and he was throwing it nearly out of the sand. Like it goes up so high, and like so watching that was really cool. And like Jonah, did you see that difference? Because he really outthrow. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's insane to watch in person.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because a couple things about shooting him throw. One, he gets the crowd all riled up. He screams,
clapping.
He gets them clapping. And then one thing, when you're shooting shot put, you're kind of tracking the ball. Is that what it is?
It's a put.
It's a put. Okay, it's hard to.
It's a shot put.
Shot put. Okay. But you're tracking it in the air and you're waiting for it to come down. So that's kind of you're always trying to track it. But when I was shooting his, it's like, when is it going to come down?
Right?
Because it's like you have to keep shooting it. It's still in the air.
And
It's
it's
going
like-
higher than everyone else's. So it's like that's kind of behind the scenes of like shooting shot put.
Yeah.
Is you have to track the ball and it's noticeable, his difference. Noticeable how much longer it is in the air.
And when he won, it was on his last throw, correct? Like he was down
Yes.
to his last throw, so he was in 2nd place, and with that throw, he took over 1st place with that throw, and it almost went out. It was along that side on the line there, I believe on the left-hand side of the shot put pit, and it almost went out. So I mean, congratulations to him. What a great way to end his high school career with a state title. Two other people I want to mention up there: Ian Morris from Princeton and Landon Holsing from Bureau Valley. Both won discus, and there was another kid from Princeton who got 3rd, I believe it was.
Yes.
So congratulations to those two for taking 1st place in their event, and then to Ian's teammate, and I cannot remember his name off the top of his head, off the top of my head, but
he was only a freshman,
and he was leading going into the the championship rounds and all that stuff. So a lot of great stuff happening on the state track meets. A lot of fun that we had to cover there. So many good athletes. They run so fast. They throw so far. They jump so high. I mean, just so many. We may have missed somebody. And there's a lot of 2nd and 3rd places and everything like that. So congratulations to everybody that did a great job at either the IHSA state meets or the Iowa girls or Iowa boys state meets. So maybe Illinois will combine theirs some year and it'll make it a little bit easier for everybody.
Yes, I agree.
But either way, somebody we know likes to drive to Eastern Illinois,
I love
which
going
is
down
great.
there.
Beautiful
Absolutely.
Charleston, Illinois.
Beautiful Charleston. I get to go to my favorite Mexican restaurant ever when I'm.
And what would that be, Jenna?
Mi Casa Tu Casa. I love that place.
And what do you get there?
I get chicken tacos. Okay, no beans or rice is not my thing. So chicken. You get the sprinkled cheese, some pico de gallo, sour cream, and then you have to get chips and guac as well.
On the
just
side,
because
yes.
it's so good. And then they have, as you guys know, I drink a lot of like water or whatever while I'm eating. Like I need a lot of beverages. I don't know. I just drink a lot. But at Mikasa, I get the Gatorade that is Arctic Blitz, which is basically Baja Blast but not carbonated, and then the Dragon Fruit Life Water. Or vitamin water. I was getting confused, but that's my go-to. I don't even know if that's interesting. I don't know if anyone even cares to hear about that. But
I think well, people down in Eastern Illinois probably are a lot.
Dude, it's so good. It's
but
so good.
I think you and Jenna Webster need to start a food podcast and expand your horizons on your food Facebook posts that you do. Expand it and do a podcast. So that'll be in the works. That'll be in the works.
Yeah, actually go to restaurants and stuff. But yeah, so we got very off topic. Ready for the next topic?
I'm ready for the next topic. Bring it up.
State soccer.
State soccer.
Can I start with the obvious?
I think you should start with the obvious.
Class 1A state champions, the Assumption girls soccer team. You got to start there. I mean, we had a lot of teams make great runs, but Assumption, they made it all the way to the end. They were just such a fun group to watch this season. They only gave up 1 goal at the state tournament, which is just insane to me. Their defense plays so well. Their goalie, Alyssa O'Neill, I don't know if you guys know this. This is her first year as a goalie. She did a really good job. So she had a lot of great saves.
It's not that she didn't face any shots either. She faced plenty of shots.
She had some really great saves. I know that semifinal I talked to some people. If you remember the one where she saved it off the pole, that one was...
She saved it, hit the post, and hit the post and mouse out,
That was crazy. So she had some great stops. Just the team as a whole. Drew Dorsey, her 100th career goal. She finished with 101 in her high school career, but she got that 100th in the state semifinal game, which is really cool. The fans there, they had the little 100 signs waving them. So it was just really fun to watch their run in the state tournament. And the seniors, they were hungry for it because they were the one senior group that didn't have that state title. Assumption has that legacy of they've been to state 18 times. Winning this title, it was their 12th title in program history, which is the new Iowa record. So, they're a program of a lot of history, and being a part of that legacy, means a lot to them. But for the seniors to, pull it off and get that state championship, it was really cool to see and watch that for sure.
You mentioned the legacy. I've seen it in person. I think it was like they won 11, or was it 10 of 11 years or something like that. They won state titles. It was just like, Assumption's going to state. Assumption's going to win state. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And there were years where they had probably the best team in the state. It didn't matter 1A, 2A, 3A.
Yeah.
They were the best team in the state, which was pretty cool and pretty fun to watch. The last 100 goal scorer was Carly King. Mm-hmm. She scored her 100th goal also at the state championships, which was kind of cool. I think it was their state semifinals.
102, correct?
I think that's correct, yeah. So Drew almost got that record. She went on to run track at Duke and is now getting some kind of medical degree or something. She is the daughter of Wade King, the athletic director of Assumption.
Oh, nice.
So just a little tie-in there.
Yeah.
And then Drew's going on to play at Cincinnati.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Exciting for her. She ran track her freshman year and then never ran track again. Just focused on soccer, which was really cool for her. So those seniors, Elizabeth Moss was excited. It meant something to all of them. You could tell for a while there, the Assumption was the class of soccer. Like that, they were the standard. Everybody started to catch up to them, and they're like, oh no, what are we going to do now? But they're still Assumption. They're still a good soccer team. They're still a good soccer program, and obviously proved that by winning the state championship. So, and we did have we had one other girls team up there.
Yeah, one other girls team. We had Bettendorf, which they fell in the state quarterfinals to Joaquin Northwest, who ended up winning. So they lost to the future state champions. But, they had a great run this season. They really did. And their state qualifying game was insane. Like, I got to cover that, probably the craziest game I've ever covered. They were down 1-0 to Iowa City Liberty for literally the entire game, 79 minutes. In that last minute, they scored a goal with a minute left off of a free kick to tie it up at 1. And so then you're thinking, okay, probably overtime, like we'll see what happens. But then Olivia Snow comes in, and the ball comes off her foot with 2 seconds left, and it crosses into the goal as time expired. They scored 2 goals in the last minute to go to state. It was crazy. And so just being there and witnessing that, like, I don't know, it's crazy. Even talking to, their coach, Coach Allison was just saying that, at that point you're almost just in your head planning like your season's over speech. Just
Right.
kind of like, because I mean, there's only 1 minute left of the game, and they've been down the whole time. They had control of the game. They were on their side for almost all of it, but they just couldn't get a shot to go in. So it was really cool to watch that. And, again, they fell in the quarterfinals, but still a great season. A season definitely to be proud of for sure. So it was definitely fun to cover them.
And Carson Bohannon got to come back and play.
Which was super
She
good,
wasn't able to play a lot this senior year because she did have an injury. So it was nice to see her get a chance to get on the state field, get on the field with her teammates, and at least play a few more games with her. She's off to Nebraska to play, so we wish her all the best. Their coach, Allison Sandy, who you mentioned, I got to cover her when she played soccer at
really
Bettendorf,
cool.
which is really cool. So it's kind of full circle moment to see. I covered her as a player, and I'm covering her as a coach, and she's continuing that tradition of Bettendorf soccer. So they did really well. And Jonah, you got to go up to state for the boys. Problem was the way it was set up this year, you only got to see a couple games.
Yeah, it was kind of a short trip because the teams I was covering lost in those games. Unfortunately, I'm a bad luck charm. It feels
No, it's not. You never stepped on the field. It's not your fault.
I just want to say every game I went to this postseason, they won.
Well, that's because last year you were.
I was the Grim Reaper. Everyone lost.
Yeah.
But this year, everybody won.
So it evens out. You're like 500 now.
I
So
know,
congrats.
Yeah.
just a quick shout out to West Liberty, Burnley.
Yeah, that's
I always
right.
get these
West
two
Liberty and
confused.
Burlington
Okay,
Notre Dame. Yeah, you
yeah.
covered West Liberty.
Okay, yeah. West Liberty and Pleasant Valley for
Mhm.
making that Elite Eight, and still that's an accomplishment in and
Right.
of itself. So, yeah.
And then Burlington Notre Dame unfortunately lost. And you want to say
I got some
you-
stuff to say about
you've
Burlington.
you've only got one thing to say about Burlington Notre
I
Dame. So
do.
go ahead and say it.
Alessandro Marcomikalakis, their foreign exchange student from Italy, was a game changer for them. He really was. And it was really fun watching the Nikes play because, again, I was at their state qualifier game when they made it in because they won. I was good luck this year. I'll take it. But he had a hat trick, and he just scores so effortlessly. And just their team was just fun. They were just a lot of fun to watch. And it was cool talking to Alessandro because this is actually his second year as a foreign exchange student, but last year he was at Mediapolis, so he was on the MIPO soccer team. But he wanted to stay in the States and finish his schooling here, but he had to go to a different school. So he picked Burlington Notre Dame. He wanted to be a part of the Nike soccer program, and I think, them being able to get to the state quarterfinals and everything shows just, how the team all is together, and then obviously Alessandro was a big part of that, and it was just really fun to watch them. So, yeah, they had a good season as well.
Burlington Notre Dame is not too far removed from winning a state championship. They're only a few years removed from that. So what you're telling me is he entered the international transfer portal and went to Burlington Notre Dame. Is how he got? Is that how he got there?
Yeah.
So yeah, well, he had to transfer, right? So and he's an international foreign student, so that's how it works. One other soccer team that we want to mention, the Alleman girls soccer team, had a great run again. He mentioned Pleasant Valley.
Did you?
Yeah, he mentioned Pleasant
I didn't
Valley.
even hear him say
Sorry,
that.
it was real quick.
Maybe,
Oh, it was real quick.
it was real quick because
So you can't forget about the PV boys. They
he
did
only
stuff
got there
too.
for the second half. They didn't score. They lost 3-0 to Valley.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunate, but that's just how it
It
works.
is what it is. Yeah.
Anyway, let me get back to talking about my team,
I'm
Alleman.
sorry. My bad. I want to make sure PV got their shout
Absolutely,
out, okay?
absolutely. So Alleman made it to the Super Sectionals, the Elite Eight. They lost for the second straight year in that game to Williamsville. They were up 1-0 on a brilliant goal from Carson Wentz. She got the ball at about the 45 yards out. The goalie was way out, played it over her head, went in. It was an awesome goal. All was going well for Alleman. 73rd minute hit. They gave up 2 goals in that minute, and the wheels just kind of fell off. But still, a great year for them. The seniors obviously disappointed, but the tradition that Alleman has, they've kind of carried along here. They had a lot of freshmen, a lot of younger players. Only a few seniors on that team, besides Carson Wentz, Gretchen Ellis, Emma Kramer, and I'm sure I'm missing a couple as well. But they're a young team, so I expect Randy Bowman, his daughter Emily Bowman, and then Javier Sanchez are 3 coaches to get that team back to that position again because they're young, they're talented.
And they're good every year. There's
they're
much
so
talent,
good.
and they're so much fun to watch. Like, I love going to an Alleman girls soccer game. They're just they're the way they play soccer is just really fun to watch.
It is a lot of fun. So that kind of wraps up what we've been doing the last 3 weeks for high school stuff a little bit.
Actually, no. What about
You have
the
one more?
Newman Comets state baseball?
State baseball.
It
It
I know.
never ends. See, why we've been busy the last 3 weeks?
Need a glimpse into what we've been up to.
We've been running all over the state.
You covered a lot of
I did
Newman.
cover. I covered them in their regional championship game against Allman. They were down 7-2. Shouldn't have won the game. It was like the 5th inning. Daniel Kelly pulls everybody aside, and Coach Kenny Corner talks about this all the time. He's like, hey, we don't ever huddle. We just don't. And Daniel Kelly pulled everybody in and said, hey, we've got outs left. Let's play till the final out is made. In that bottom of the 5th, they scored 8 runs to go up 10-7. They never looked back. They won the game. Then they go on, they win sectionals. Then they go to super sectionals and play Chicago Hope, a team they played for the 2nd straight year, I believe. It might have been 3rd, but 2nd straight year for sure. And nobody gave them a chance. Chicago Hope was better. Chicago Hope was this. Chicago Hope was that. Mm-hmm. Daniel Kelly hits a home run in the 1st inning, a 2-run home run. That puts them. He ends up scoring a run. They scored a run before him. His home run made it 3-0 in the 1st inning. Evan Bushman threw a gem of a game. They go on to win the super sectional. I believe it was 5-1 was the final up in Geneva, up at King County Stadium, where the King County Cougars play. And they're off to state for the 3rd straight year. Unbelievable for them, because last year they're like, oh, we had Brendan Tunick, who's playing with the Los Angeles Dodgers, an 8th-round draft pick. He's the reason we're there. And this team found a way to win. They did. They just found ways to win. Unfortunately, they get to state, and it's kind of been their bugaboo. They get to state, and they just find a way to not get that key hit. Or it's unfortunate because they're such a good team, a fun team to watch. They lost in the semifinals to Topolis, the Wooden Shoes.
Down the Wooden Shoes.
That's such an interesting mascot.
It's one of the best mascots out there. Man.
There's some crazy ones.
It's really
in Illinois.
good.
Yeah,
we should do a podcast talking about Illinois mascots.
I would love that.
Yeah,
that'd
get your guy Greg Armstrong on it.
Oh, he would love it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We've talked
about it.
many stuff about high school mascots over the years. So they lost in the state semifinals, and then Jonah, you got to go back down for the 3rd, 4th place game and they played. Who was it they played in that one? I don't even remember. Eureka, the Hornets.
Eureka.
The Hornets. Yes, the Hornets. So
yes.
And again, just couldn't get that key hit.
I know. Yeah, it was just like they had their opportunities late in the game. Like you said, they play until the final out. They had bases loaded, I believe, in the 6th inning. And just a liner, a hot shot right to short, and the shortstop makes a great play. They had their opportunities, and it was just tough. They couldn't get that timely hit when they needed it. The pitching wasn't great. They didn't have Evan Bushman.
Yeah.
And Daniel Kelly was telling me after the game, he said when he just has a great chemistry with Evan, they call it shove day when they're pitching together, which I loved. But when I asked them, and it's just tough to answer the question of how do you get over the hump, because they've been coming up short so many times. It's a tough question to ask. Tough answer is how do you get over the hump? And what was amazing to me is when I was talking to Garrett Wolf, who also contributed really well this postseason, and Coach Kenny Kerner, they were very confident and calm, and we have rising seniors. We're going to be okay. This group, this core is coming back. They're not panicking at all. They're taking this one step at a time, and it's amazing that they're not too down on themselves. So it's amazing to see them continue to pull out this success even after losing Brendan Tunick.
And sure, is it disappointing because you didn't bring home the state championship? Absolutely, but let's stop and think about this. They've got a 3rd place and 2 4th place trophies in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So many teams would love to be in their position, like, hey, we brought home 4th place. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, whatever, they're going to go to class reunion like, hey, remember that game and we did this? Or remember that bus trip? Or that's the cool stuff that they're going to remember. They're not going to remember the losses. They're going to remember all the great times that they had, regardless of what place that they won in state. So yes, you have one more thing?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Fulton baseball.
Fulton
baseball. Because they made the Elite Eight.
They did. And they lost to Greg Armstrong's Ottawa Marquette Crusaders, who won their 2nd straight state championship.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that game, I got to go to that. It was at Northern Illinois, so I was up there. And they were fun to watch too. The Fulton baseball team. And again, they lost that game I was at. That was the one game I went to that they didn't win. But it was definitely fun to watch. I liked what Coach Brent Dykstra said after the game. Is that obviously it's like disappointing, but he just cares that his kids are giving 100% effort. And they did. They had a great season. I mean, if you finish top 8 in the state, like, you're really good.
Right.
And that game, too, Ottawa Marquette was a very good baseball team. And for them to be able to hold them off like they did, I mean, you see what Ottawa Marquette won the next couple of games. They were up, like, double-digit runs on
16 to
teams.
1, yeah.
And so for Fulton to only lose, I believe it was 6-3. I'm pretty sure was the final score of that one.
In the state semifinals or in the state championship?
No.
6-3. Fulton, yes, 6-3.
Fulton, yeah. So they lost 6-3, but it was really back and forth. And Chase Dykstra came in to pitch, and he was really shutting them down. So it was really fun to watch. And even though their season came to an end, I wanted to give them their credit for a great season as well.
Excellent. All right. Now we're done with high school stuff.
Now we're done with high school. Yeah, I get busy. Weeks,
As you can
so
see, yeah, we
lot
probably
to
talked
talk
about 40 minutes there on high school stuff.
know.
So, all right. So now let's move on to a little professional sports, and we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. So we went 40 minutes because we couldn't go 41 because Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old. We have to give the 41st minute to Aaron Rodgers.
Well said.
So Aaron Rodgers signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wild.
$13.65 million with incentives potentially up to $19 million.
Yeah.
So
10 million guaranteed.
yeah,
Not bad.
that's what you signed for, wasn't it, Jonah? About $10 million
Oh,
guaranteed.
yeah. Nice.
But I need to ask you, Jonah, because you are a resident Pittsburgh Steeler fan.
Yes.
Happy? Upset? Did you want him? Do you not want him? What are your feelings?
So I didn't really want him, but I knew that the Steelers had to make a choice at quarterback.
Sure.
It was like, do you run with Mason Rudolph? I would have been fine with
Run,
Mason
Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Run, Rudolph.
Sorry.
That's very good.
Fine
Very
with
good.
that, and we kind of get a good draft pick and potentially get a really good quarterback in the 2026 draft. I would have been fine with that. But no, we have to go and get a 41-year-old quarterback who's on the downside, who brings a whole ton of baggage with him, and we don't know if he's gonna kind of incorporate himself in the offense. They like to run the ball. They're a defense first team. So is he going to agree with the coaching staff? Is he going to mesh well with DK Metcalf? It's all kind of up in the air. And he's only signed for 1 year, so it's like they want to roll the dice, see if he has anything left in him so that they can try to make a Super Bowl run, because they have to take advantage of this defense that's aging. And so I understand that. And it's kind of like we'll see. I don't think he's got a ton left in him. You know, he's only thrown for 300 yards twice in his last 40 games. He had his second worst year in terms of QBR. If you look at those stats, the numbers are high. He can still throw the ball. I still think he has one of the prettiest balls in terms of like throwing it.
Sure.
But he doesn't throw it very far anymore. So it's just like, I don't know.
I just want to say 41's not old. I would love to be 41 again. I'm just saying. All right, so my other question to you then is, because you weren't sure if you wanted him or not. Because if you don't get him, yeah, you're with Mason Rudolph, and maybe you're not as good win-loss record with Mason Rudolph, because he really hasn't proven himself. Over the years, Aaron Rodgers has proven himself. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Even me being a Bears fan, I can agree with that. However, he hasn't done a whole heck of a lot in the later half of his career here, right? 2 years ago, he didn't even complete the first game, right? Yeah. Last year, throws for just under 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, which 11 interceptions isn't bad for a year. But do you want Rodgers? Do you want Justin Fields? Or would you have taken Russ back?
Yeah. Out of those options, I'd probably want Rodgers.
Okay.
Because
the other two guys really haven't proven themselves either.
I was about to say, like, even though he's 41 years old, he still has the upside. He still has the potential of being a Super Bowl winning quarterback, even though that was 10-plus years ago against these Steelers, which is funny enough.
Says the Packer fan.
Yes.
That was great.
I still think he has those moments. Like I said, he still can throw the ball beautifully. It's just a matter of consistency and handling the blitz, because he struggled mightily last season with that because he just can't move.
So week 8 of the NFL season.
I'm ready.
Jenna versus Jonah. Packers versus Steelers.
Bring it on.
I will have to separate you two for that week, I think. Just kind of keep you apart.
If we're going by those rules, then we'll have 2 weeks, so we'll be like
Why?
No way.
Aaron Rodgers plays the Bears this year too. He's going to continue to own them and give them a little discount double check, and it's all good. I'm a realistic Bears fan until they can prove that they can beat the teams they need to beat.
Yeah.
I don't believe anything. If in 1 year doesn't mean you're good yet. You've got to do it consistently. So, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers, Miss Jenna?
It's weird. It's like mixed emotions because
It's the first time he hasn't been in green.
I know that is true. I'm just glad he didn't pull a Brett Favre and then go to the Vikings after the Jets. So
Sure.
But it's very weird being a lifelong Packers fan because obviously growing up, you know, it's like I loved watching Aaron Rodgers and
He was your guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I do think the Packers definitely should have had another Super Bowl with him. I think there were a couple times where it could have happened, but you know, that one that you brought up, the 2010-2011 season with the Packers Steelers, I was in the 3rd grade, and I think that solidified
Oh my gosh, you were in the 3rd grade?
Yeah, I think that solidified my future here. So, because I love sports, in that moment, like feeling that and having your team win something like that was crazy. But yeah, so it's really weird with Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know, like, people ask me a lot because I am a Packers fan. But it's like my thoughts aren't, like, super precise with it. It's just kind of mixed up, and it's like, well, I want him to be successful, but also he does have a lot of baggage, and it's kind of weird, but, like, you know, I rooted for him for so long, but, like, I don't know. It's like, it's just, like, all
you
over
sound
the
like
place.
me. Like,
Yeah,
I'm all over the place.
it's
I'm sorry for
hard.
bombing on about that. But
No, it's hard, and so... Yeah, it's just, I don't know exactly where my head's at with it. Like, when he was with the Jets, his first year, when he played, like, what was it, like 3 snaps or something?
Essentially, yeah.
I wanted him to do well. I wanted to see him succeed, and that was unfortunate. And then, obviously, last year wasn't great, and it's like, part of me wants to see him do okay, but, like, part of me... It's like, what is it that I said? It's like a breakup. It's like your ex. It's like, you kind of want to see them do well, but also you kind of don't. It's like,
Sure.
well, I don't even know. But I don't know. That was kind of a bunch of nothing I just gave.
like
But
You talked a lot and said nothing. It's perfect.
because like as a
Welcome
kid,
to broadcasting.
Again, it's like, it's like as a kid, I really looked up to him, but like I didn't like ever idolize any celebrities. I wasn't that like, but
Sure.
I enjoyed watching him, and he was the quarterback of my favorite team and brought a lot of success. So. I enjoyed watching him play, but now I'm just like... But I am excited for the Packers-Steelers matchup in Week 8. I think that's going to be really fun to watch. And, hey, maybe we could have a rematch of the Super Bowl from my 3rd grade year, having that
I'm good without.
Packers-Steelers. You're good with that?
I'm good without.
Wouldn't it be so cinematic to have a Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl? Hear me out.
No.
Which is a rematch of the last time
Can we
the
cut her
Packers
mic?
were
Can
in the
we
Super
cut her
Bowl?
mic?
Oh, my gosh. It would be amazing.
Just
It'd be
end
so
with
cool.
this.
Well, I have one more question for
sorry.
you.
Oh.
My bad.
Do they have? I remember a couple weeks ago we talked about our teams winning X amount of games for the
Yes.
season.
Ooh,
Do,
yeah.
do the Steelers have that same threshold? Do you think that I think you had them winning maybe 9 or 10 games? Do they still do that?
I think so. For Steeler fans, a successful season
Is a winning season.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
winning a playoff game.
Okay.
The Steelers haven't won a playoff game in 2016.
Okay.
I think so. It's like
Don't tell me how old you were then.
I won't. But it's like they expect winning and they're getting impatient. So I think a successful season is winning a playoff game. And I think with Aaron Rodgers, it's doable. Like I said in my soliloquy, it's it's risky and it's up in the air. So we'll see.
Sometimes risks pay off.
Yeah, you're right. That's why.
I just want my team to make the playoffs. I don't care if they win a game. I just want to make the
I want the
playoffs.
Cardinals to make the playoffs too. I'm with you there.
All right, so enough with Aaron Rodgers because as a Bears fan, I don't want to talk about him anymore. Our next topic is
Baseball records.
baseball records. Do you guys know what your baseball record is?
I
So,
do.
so the last time we did a podcast, we were talking about Pete Rose and being able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So, baseball records that we don't think will ever be broken. Jenna, you can go first.
I have 2. I have a logical answer and a kind of weird, interesting answer. Which would you like first?
I want your logical one first. I don't want this made up one that you're going to
It's
come.
not made up. Okay, logical is most wins for a pitcher, Cy Young with 511. I feel like that one That makes sense.
That one, yeah, I don't disagree with that one at all. That means he had, I'm trying to read here, 5 30-win seasons and 15 20-win seasons.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of wins.
Yeah.
And the closest person to him is Walter Johnson. He's got 417. So he's
Yeah.
almost 100 behind, and Walter Johnson played a long time ago as
Yeah.
well. So, yeah, I don't think anybody ever gets there because they don't pitch as much.
Right? They're not even
Yeah.
pitching 30 games.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, so 20 wins nowadays is a lot. If you get to 300, that's a
Yeah.
great season. I don't know when our next 300-win pitcher is going to happen. I don't know if that happens anytime soon. So yeah, most career wins, 500 by Cy Young. Yeah, I would agree with
That's a
that.
good one.
All right, now give us this made-up fictitious
It's
one.
not. It's a fun one. I can't be serious all the time. I got to come up with some fun stuff, too. So I was talking to my girl, Jenna Webster.
Okay.
She's a California girl, so we were talking about the Giants.
Mhm.
And so this one is Giant splash hits because they have McCovey Cove on Oracle Park.
Beautiful baseball field.
Yeah.
Park. Yeah.
And so Barry Bonds has 35, and he's the only player to have 2 splash hits in one game.
Okay.
So I feel like that could be. I know it's like will never be broken. Like it could probably be broken, but I feel like it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
And if it's going to be broken, it's got to be broken by somebody who plays for the Giants because a visiting player isn't going to have that many home runs in an opposing ballpark. So, yes, maybe that's one. But I'm going to throw this at you. It's got to have an asterisk. I mean, because if you think about the steroid era and all that stuff, I mean, does it have an asterisk? I mean, some of these records may have asterisks because of certain little things.
Yeah.
I'm just going to personally throw one on there. Because
Throw it on
Major League Baseball doesn't have that listed as a record that could ever be broken.
Yeah, well,
This is
a fun one.
this is the Jenna's made up record.
It's not made up, but I just want to say too that second closest at 35 is Brandon Belt with 10.
Wow.
And
It's
again, he's
pretty-
another Giant player. So yes,
it's like it's gotta be pretty tough to get that. I'm sure if any player would get 1, they would think that's really cool. I'm like 35 is a lot to hit it there. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I just thought it was cool. I don't. It's not made up.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
It's
All
just
right,
fun.
Jonah,
It's just fun.
Yeah.
your records that you think will never be broken in baseball.
Okay. I'm going to go with just one. Well, same person, 2 different records.
Okay.
Ricky Henderson, the speedy stolen base king. He had 1,406 career steals
Mhm.
and most steals in a season, 130 in 1982. Now, let me break it down why no one's ever touching that. First of all, the last player to attempt 130 steals in a season was a guy, I don't even know, maybe you know his name, who it is, Vince Coleman from
Vince Coleman,
1985.
a Cardinal? Come
Oh.
on. Come on.
I didn't
I'm
know who he played
Mr.
for.
Cardinal over here.
I
Of
didn't know.
course I know.
Mr. Cardinal.
sorry.
Vince Coleman, sad, tragic story. They were getting ready to play in the playoffs, and the tarp, somebody hit the button for the tarp, and it rolled over his leg and broke his leg before the playoffs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was terrible.
That does suck.
Yeah, right?
horrible.
Right?
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. He
Jeez.
never played. No, after that, he played again, but not in the playoffs. So, anyway, go
All
on.
right.
Yes, Vince Coleman was my man.
Yes, so he was the last
You have
person.
a lot of mans in baseball.
I'm a
You're
base-
considering
I'm
talking
a-
about your
I'm a-
other man, aren't
I'm a
you?
baseball guy.
You're
Yes.
talking about your other one.
Yeah.
Sorry,
All right,
I'm sorry.
so,
We're getting distracted.
and then only 7 players since 2000 have even had half of 130 in a season. Ellie De La Cruz last year had 66.
Mhm.
So it's like you can't even get to better than half. It's going to be tough to get to 130. And then the active steals leader in terms of total steals for a career, Starling Marte at 358. Ricky Henderson's at 1406.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Now, they have said since they have changed the rules, the pitcher can only throw over twice.
Right.
And the next time it's considered a balk, they get the base, whatever. That maybe stolen bases start to go up because of that. Because if the pitcher throws over twice, maybe you get a bigger lead, maybe you take off and you steal more bases. We'll see if that happens. I have a couple interesting stories about Ricky Henderson. So when Ricky stole third base to break Lou Brock's record to get to 1406, or actually it might have been less than that. It was like maybe 739 actually. Whatever the number was. He grabs third base, holds it up over his head, and he's excited, and they gave Ricky a microphone to talk to the fans at the Coliseum at that point in time. And you should never give Ricky just an open mic to speak. Lou Brock's standing right there next to me. He's like, Lou Brock was the greatest baseball stealer of all time, but now I am. It's like, Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back, Ricky. And again, I'm a Ricky fan. He's by far my favorite.
Guy.
He's my
That's
guy.
your other man.
Yeah.
I do. I love me some Ricky Henderson. Yeah. And the other funny story, well, there's two. One, in the '89 World Series between the Giants and the A's, when the earthquake hit, Ricky was actually in the bathroom when it happened and had no idea that there was an earthquake going on. He thought it was the fans shaking the stadium is what it was. And there was a lot of destruction. People lost their lives. Not making light of that. Just the fact that where Ricky was at when it happened. Right. I read his book. It was in his book. That's how I know where it happened. So you had something to say about that?
Oh, I'm not going to say it.
No? Okay. All right. And then the other funny one is one time somebody goes up to Ricky and is like talking about the Bible in John 3:16. He's like, I don't want to hear about John hitting no 3:16. Ricky hitting 3:30. So he's like, Ricky had a lot of Rickyisms.
A lot of personality.
A lot of personality. He also holds the record for most leadoff home runs in a baseball game. So just a couple things. Like I said, Ricky's my guy.
He was only 65 years old when he passed away. I think it was this year.
Yes. So just this past year.
In peace.
His mom wouldn't let him play football. That's why he played baseball. So kind of cool. All right. So I have got a few I'm going to throw at you. The one that I don't think is ever going to get broken is most consecutive games played. By Cal Ripken, 2,632 games played. Lou Gehrig is the record that he broke. Lou Gehrig's record was 2,130. He broke it in Baltimore. I don't remember what day it was. I think it was September 6th, which made me mad because it was supposed to be on my birthday, which is September 5th, just in case anybody wants to get me a birthday present, September 5th. Anyway.
Wait, can I interject? Speaking of birthdays, we had a very important birthday this week. Brian Stocking.
Well, it was, it was. You're right. Happy birthday, Stock.
That's the reason we did the podcast.
That's
to wish Stock a happy birthday.
That's what
we
it was.
Buried the lead so far into the podcast.
50 minutes in.
Yeah. Happy and belated birthday to the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Stocking.
So, I think that's one record that'll never get broken just because people don't play.
Yeah.
Like he did. They
People
play
are
with injury
these days. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're not wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But there's more medical involved. Like they're more of a prized possession to the teams. They pay them so much money. They want them on the field because if they're on the field, fans show up, they make money. It's all about money nowadays. That's all it ever is. So that's one that I think that will never get broken. Another one would be Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters. I don't know if anybody throws 7 no-hitters in their career, as well as his career strikeouts. 5,714 strikeouts. I want to say Randy Johnson is the next closest, and he is 839 fewer strikeouts. So that's a lot. Well, it helps when you can read right here on your screen. But yes, I'm a math whiz. No.
You do like math, though.
I do enjoy math. But yeah, so I think those are a couple that will never get broken. And if you just want to throw another one out there, Lou Gehrig's 56 straight consecutive game hit streak.
Or Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio.
Yes.
Joe DiMaggio. I'm sorry, not Lou Gehrig. Yeah, Lou Gehrig was with Ripken. So yeah, just a few of them there. Yeah. So next time we do a podcast.
Oh boy, wait there. Think
of an NFL football record that you think will never get broken.
I'm done with school, man. You're giving me homework.
No. This isn't homework. This isn't homework.
Write it down,
this is part of being a sportscaster. We're just gonna look up fun things to talk about, and you never know.
I'm down for that.
So there's so many different sports we can find obscure things to figure out. So
yeah, like baseball, the splash hits at Oracle Park.
like splash downs at Oracle Park.
Fun things.
So. Well, that's going to wrap it up for our podcast this week. We hope you've enjoyed listening to our podcast. We've enjoyed doing them. This is the 4th one we've done now. As we've always said, if you have any questions, comments, something you want us to talk about, send us an email, give us a call, whatever. Stop us along the street if you see us somewhere at a game. Come and talk to us, whatever. We always enjoy that. So if you have something you want us to talk about, let us know. If you enjoy what we're doing, let us know. Because we're having a lot of fun doing it. So we'll probably do one just the week before the John Deere Classic again, because we've got some vacations coming up and some things going on. So we'll probably do one maybe a little bit more related towards the John Deere Classic and talk about the field and things like that. So anything you guys want to add before we wrap it up?
I think we covered everything.
All right. So for Jenna and Jonah, thank you for watching Beyond the Score.